Oh, it, oh, I'm sorry. Um, it was just across this bay. And when I got there, I thought, it's a little bay, big deal. It's no big deal. But before I left, I had heard that there were submarines from other Arab countries supporting the Muslim population there, bringing in weapons and so on and so forth. Um, I I got there, and just across the bay and a little bit down the coast in Mindanao, uh, we had a group of elders. This one elder is from, I remember very distinctly, he was from Seattle. He said, "Oh, yeah, you've got to teach these guys. His whole family has had a fifth discussion." We only had six discussions at that time. And he actually said, "Oh, yeah, he's just ready to be baptized. So is the whole family. Everything's really great." And so my companion and I, we went around Ozamas. We looked him up. Yeah, okay. He didn't seem very interested in seeing us. So he said, "Let's make an appointment. We'll just come over and visit and get to know you." Showed up. He wasn't there. This happened three times. Finally, Elder Bunker and I, he went from being with me to being a district leader in another city that it was a real trial where he was put in. It was a tough area. And Elder Bunker and I went over, and Elder Bunker was really upset this third time when we're going in to teach him. And he says, he started to almost fight with him. I said, "Elder Bunker, cool it. Let's just talk." So he talked with him, and it turned out that this guy had been a leader of a small group that went in and just massacred this small village of Muslims, just shot them to pieces, killed them. Well, we'll kind of drop back next time. Maybe we can see it, but you know where our church is. So if you want to come and see us, you can come and see us. We never saw him again, of course, but he was, it was a very interesting thing. No place there in all the cities that I went with, there were all kinds of very unusual things happening with the different people. I went from Ozama City, which was on the north shore of Mindanao, to a place called Tarlac, which was about, I don't know, maybe 30, 40 miles from my first area, Cabanatuan. We worked there. That was one of the tougher areas, but it was a beautiful city, and there were great people there. We baptized a number of families there. But at any rate, if I had baptized everybody that I had taught to a third discussion when people were coming to church, reading the Book of Mormon, and finally um, keeping the word of wisdom and making decent progress in their Book of Mormon, um, it turned out I would have baptized over 100 people. But that's just the nature of the place that I was sent. It wasn't anything in particular that I was doing. Okay. What other questions do you have, Deb?
So there were six
Michelle?
areas.
What?
Tarlac was your
Six.
last area.
Six. Is everybody on mute? I talk too much.
What made you decide to go on a mission?
To be truthful, Grandpa Simonson sat down with me and he said, I don't know the words that he actually used, but he just really left me with you know, no excuses that I could get out of going on a mission. I was happy to go. And when I went, I went with the attitude that, if I go on a mission, I just have to learn to like the work. I suppose I didn't like going around knocking on doors any more than anybody else, but you can do things to make it interesting and fun and something that you get a great deal of joy out of. I loved the Philippines. I'm sorry.
You talk
Mich-
about it with a lot of like you can tell that you liked it. You can tell that you enjoyed your time there and that you love the people.
Well, I always, honestly, to be quite truthful, I always like to say, you can run into a nitwit Filipino just like you can run into a nitwit Americano. I mean, there are dumb people in every group, but the problem is, I really truly believe. I used to say the Philippines as a country is a beautiful, beautiful country, but the people are more beautiful.
Thank you for sharing, Grandpa.
Well, it's sort of crazy, because I found that, just since Deborah and I have lived here, I've been at Costco and been in line with people, and you could hear them talking, and I knew just by the way they were just talking and so on and so forth that they were Filipino. Where are you from? And oh, I'm from Manila. What part of Manila? Are you nuts?
Like I miss
Uh,
Manila. Yeah.
Well, I mean, they're kind of sitting there going, you don't know Manila. Oh yeah, Pangasinan. Do you know? Um,
You had people talking all over the place. The people that treated him for cancer, a lot of them were from the Philippines. And he would talk and talk, and they would come over and talk to him. He enjoyed it very much.
well, and it was sort of crazy during my chemotherapy. I'd be sitting there talking because it seemed like, I went there 6 different weeks, and at least of five of them, they were Filipinos or people who were from the Philippines, had studied nursing while they were in the Philippines. And it was somebody came in and yeah, I'm from Batangas. Now, I just went through Batangas one day on my way to some, uh, the relatives of some family that we baptized, but it was the idea that we were going out to a little town or a little island called Mindoro, and it turns out that Mindoro was near a place that they had a major sea battle during World War II between the United States and the Japanese, and it was very fiercely fought. It was a tough time, but what can you say?
When Mike and I got engaged and we had a meeting with Mike's parents and my parents, that's what Mike's dad and my dad just sat there and talked about the Philippines because Mike's dad had served 2 years before in the Philippine Army.
He left. Mike's dad, Hal Nielsen, left the Philippines, as I recall, the November before the March that I went to the Philippines. So it was about 4 or 5 months that we just missed each other. But apparently, Hal Nielsen was an assistant to the president. So he would have been right there in Makati when I came in if I had gone at that time, but I was still in school at that time.
It's just so funny because Mike's dad all the time threatened Mike with, "Oh, you're not married yet? Well, then you better watch out because if you turn 26 and you're not married, I'm gonna go mail order a bride from the Philippines. I can do it because I know how." Yep,
Yeah.
narrow
Well,
escape.
yeah, but be sure and tell everybody that Mike's dad was a bishop at the time too.
Was he? He was. That's right. Yeah, he was a bishop for I think that year and the next year. No,
Well, the problem was, I wouldn't say it's a problem. It's just that the one time that Mother and I went to a sacrament meeting, that Hal's dad, I mean, I'm sorry, Mike's dad, Hal, was um,
presiding over.
presiding, and you know, he had a high priest group leader get up and say, "Oh yeah, nobody's done anything greater than the prophet Joseph Smith and bringing about the salvation of," and how Mike's dad had to get up and say, I think Joseph Smith is a great, great guy, but he didn't outdo the Savior. So, I was very proud of him getting up and jumping in on that. It was quite something. Any other questions? Come on, you guys. I got three college degrees. You don't want to ask any questions about college?
Was it fun?
Was it fun? Gideon wants to know if it was fun.
It's a bum.
Kids a
In
bum.
college?
Was it fun in college, Grandpa? That's where you met my mom, right?
Yep. Well, we went through a period of time. Maybe you haven't told this to the other grandkids, but I was engaged before I met Mother.
Wasn't her name Dorcas or Dolores or something like that?
Dorcas or Dolores. Please don't repeat that. Her name was Phyllis.
Phyllis. That's the same. Sorry.
It's Dorcas with Phyllis.
Phyllis? I think Phyllis is kind of a okay.
Hmm.
Never
Kind of a
more beautiful name.
No, Deborah and I were going along, and I went to we were taught, we're in the stairwells of the Harold B. Lee Library. And we were talking about stuff, we were reading the Book of Mormon,
You were reading the Book of Mormon in the solo of the library?
Yep.
Wow.
And well, I mean, the problem is that I asked Mother if she knew what a seer was. And you could see the wheels turning in her head. And I sort of sat down and said, "No, sweetheart, it's not a big deal. Come on. You know what a seer is?" She said, I don't think so. So I read her Mosiah 8, and I believe it's verse 9, where he sits down and he explains what a seer is. Someone who not only can see the future, but he can also read things and help people understand things by the Spirit and so on and so forth. And I asked Mother later on, was that a big deal? She said, yeah, that was a big deal. Talk to her. She only knows that. Are you embarrassed by that?
No.
Good.
Dad was
Yeah,
super impressive in those stairwells, huh, Mom?
We were in the stairwells because we had been when
chastised.
the year started, there was a lot of dating within the family groups. And by the time, I don't even know, before Christmas, the bishop said no more dating in the family groups because
That's what the family groups were for.
well, it was
No.
causing problems, that
Oh,
you'd
yeah,
pick
yeah.
up and it would cause problems. So he said no more dating in the family groups. So Scott and I didn't date, but we'd meet at the libraries until we got engaged. And then we told the bishop that we wanted to go on a date. So we did after we were engaged.
What were the family groups?
So you didn't date until you got engaged? Neither
Right, we
did
just-
Mike and I. We went on like one date.
Yeah, we just go to the library and meet and study and stuff.
Study.
Daddy, what's this? Daddy.
Study, like quote unquote study. We're studying.
Oh, you
Oh,
could
I
just
thought
spend
you
over
said
260.
That's cute. Yeah, I did a lot of studying with Mike too.
Girl.
That's why we're worried about you.
Yes, you guys were very worried about me and Mike. Because we told him we were getting married in 2 months.
Oh, I would be too.
They're like, yeah, you're meeting him. It's like the first, I think it was Valentine's Day, right? And we got married on the 23rd of April, which was like, 2 months later. 9 weeks later. It's like, so you've got 9 weeks. If you guys want, you can make some dresses. If not, I'm just gonna borrow a dress and we'll get it. It wasn't important to me, and Mom was like, "What are you talking about? You're my firstborn child. I have to do everything. Oh my gosh, this is crazy. Acting like brain dead teenagers."
Cause you were.
Well, you've got
Mouths of
the
babes.
yeah.
You can
What
come
can I
out.
say?
Go on, Ben to go back.
Well, it was. I think, yeah, for me, my mission will always be like a way of remembering just really beautiful things.
Honestly, sweetheart, I loved my mission. It was a very wonderful thing. There were some high times, there were some very low times.
Any more questions for Grandpa? Okay, I have a question for all of you. What shall we do next? We can always have, do games and stuff like that and enjoy just conversing with each other and catching up. But are there things that we could do that we would get everyone involved, including our wonderful grandchildren?
Melissa and the boys, the troops.
Ideas?
Oh, I'm the grandchildren.
Today was the first day back from boys camp. Gideon wasn't able to go, but this past week all the boys went to boys camp, and there was 8 of them, and they were kind of not forced, but like forced to give their testimonies, and they all got up there and did that, and every single one of them talked about, my favorite part of boys camp. It started out hard, then it got a lot easier, and as we got to know people, it got a lot more fun. But by Friday night, they had a testimony meeting. They all said my favorite part was testimony meeting, and because that made me feel the most happy, the most most spirit. And
No.
so I think that's probably something that we can remember, that it's hard to bring the spirit, but even if we just do it for 10 minutes and share a scripture that's an experience or a scripture or something that's been meaningful to us as we study our because we don't need to necessarily, we're supposed to be studying Ben Sigan me. What is that in English? Come follow me. As families, but also we do that every other week in church. And so doing it again as a family is fine, but I don't know, maybe we want to share more broadly a spiritual experience. I'm not sure.
Like what?
Well, I like the idea of the spiritual, of a thought, of a scripture.
Well, if you just you're assigned to share a 15-minute spiritual experience, or if it doesn't end up being 15 minutes, it can be I'll share the scripture that I read this week that was really, really neat as I'm brushing my teeth or whatever. I read a scripture that was about this, or today in church somebody shared a scripture that was really powerful, and I enjoyed it and I wrote it down, and so I'll share it with you guys. Stuff like that.
I think that would be a good place.
Or we can look for something like, hey, you're assigned to share the thing, so read one of the BYU devotionals.
Find something.
Yeah, find something to share. It can be 15 minutes or whatever. But there's 12 months, and so what you can do is assign 2 people each. That way we have 24 people. That's everybody except the 2 youngest, because they don't speak that much. I mean, they'll get there for sure.
No, I think it's a wonderful idea. Should we start? Who wants to be next month? Of course, October we skip because that's conference, so it will be November when we start. So you'll actually have 2 months to come up with something. Oh, that's right. Excuse me, I forgot September. We are in August, so we will do September. So we need a sign up for September. Who wants to get this over with?
I'll do it.
Scott, Grandpa wants to start. Okay, so he's half the group.
Yeah, do you want to do it? Do you want to share a scripture with us? Just a spiritual thought?
With Grandpa?
You don't have to. He's hiding behind his burrito.
Does that work?
Jam burrito.
I always found that so interesting when I'd ask my students a question and they'd all lower their eyes as if that made them invisible. It's like, excuse me, I
can do it. I don't see him there to defend himself.
Yeah, really.
It's like, I'm eating my jam burrito. Leave me alone.
Or we can make Miriam do it because she's not even here.
That's right. We can throw.
Yeah, let's volunteer Gail.
I'm right here. I can defend myself.
She's like,
That's
you
what
can see
happened in
my
my family
elbow.
often. It
You can
ends
see
up
my
being the person
elbow.
who couldn't defend themselves. Volunteering.
Or
Yeah,
Stuart and
you have
Rachel.
to. There's no like, there's nothing magical. Oh, we got to do it twice because
Yeah, I'll do it twice, no problem.
like so. I mean, no, I'm not saying that one person should do it twice. I'm saying there doesn't need to be two people presenting each time because if one person like that's a half an hour of content that we don't,
Yeah.
I think
Well,
that
if it limited to 10 minutes of content, then you could have two.
Then you can
why,
just,
why does there need to be two? Like, what's the upside to that?
they don't want it to be too short, I guess. You can just do one. I think we were trying, and then so like let's do 12 this year, but we're only gonna do 10 because of conference twice. And then do 10 next year.
Conference for April is over.
Yes, but the April after
There's
that.
only one for the rest of the year. That's right. So you just want to have one person and then what, with the other part of the time, play a game? Would that be a good thing?
No, I think playing games is kind of dumb. I mean, unless the young kids are like, I love it when we do that. My kids would vote against that. And so getting the kids to be like if we're doing that as like a way for the kids to be really enthusiastic, mine aren't. And so yeah, it could be that other families are like, no, 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 we really like that part, in which case.
You guys like the games?
Oh.
Kind of neutral towards it.
Kid says he's neutral toward the games. Do you like the spiritual side?
Of what?
Of when we share.
Of what?
I don't know if you engaged at
More
all.
interesting, Gid. If we were trying to do something that you found very interesting, what would you say? That would be something you'd like.
Oh.
He would say thank you.
What? Thank you for what?
Thank you for being interesting. You see when I'm working with your people? I just don't even know. It's okay.
I think that we do one person sharing a spiritual thought, goal to be somewhere in the neighborhood of 15 minutes-ish, something like that. And then afterwards, just discussing
Life.
what's going on in people's lives or discussing, hey, let's have this person answer this question about their life or something like that. But not like, hey, you have to prepare something about like, here's my presentation on that. I think that my crowd is pushing for less formality.
Nice. My crowd would push for that too. My
Yeah.
family is anti-formality.
Yeah. And it makes it so that if at some point during it, they're like, okay, I'm done, then they can. And so as opposed to, nope, there's like a presentation that I've got for the next 45 minutes. And then after that, there's more time. And then if people want to stay and talk, they can stay and talk. But it's more that kind of a setup where my kids will probably participate in the spiritual thought at the beginning and then as engaged as they are throughout the rest of it, depending on what they want to do.
Next month, Gail Alex will be at BYU, so she'll have to participate from there.
No.
What do you mean no?
Why do we need to include that information?
Because it's cool. We'll have another square on the screen.
No.
X's and O's. I vote yes. Edward, I second the motion. That's a good idea. So, Mom, maybe just write down 10 names randomly and then assign them. And if they can't do it, just pick the second or something.
All right.
Just ask
I'll have that out today.
Or you could ask the people. I'll do it. I volunteer. Alex volunteers too.
No, I do not.
Alex does not volunteer.
What are you throwing out accusations?
Alex, did you curl your hair?
Yeah.
She permed her hair.
Oh, cute.
Lovely. She
Fun.
show the frizz. She looks like me in like 7th grade.
Did Miriam do it for you?
Yeah.
It looks really cute. I like it.
Thank you.
So
It does look really cute.
did you go home with Miriam or was that
I just went up to Utah so we could tour BYU and stuff.
Miriam took her for a tour.
what'd you think of BYU?
It's nice. It's very pretty.
Wasn't it really hot though?
Yeah. I feel like I was burning, but
She was closer to the sun, so she was like sizzling.
Have you been to BYU so many times that it wasn't that exciting? Or was it like, oh, wait a minute, no, this is real?
I've only been to BYU like Provo once when I was like 9 because Miriam was touring.
But I just, it was very pretty, and you know, there's a lot of things that can go on. Yeah.
In the stairwell and the
Oh, stop it.
So much going on in the stairwell.
Birds.
Mike and I did most of our stuff under trees.
Oh, okay.
I read to him The Princess Bride.
I think your kids would love it if you told them all about it. That tree right there, we snogged for half an hour. I'm not going to.
We never really snogged, honestly. But we did a lot of. We read the Chronicles of Narnia on our honeymoon,
Heck
So,
and then I read him The Princess Bride.
y'all are
And
so
for
late.
and for some reason he liked
Narnia's
that.
dope.
You could tell that he was like really smitten.
So late.
Jared thinks that's
How
lame.
dare you?
I know.
Hey,
right?
Sarah,
I didn't have to say you did it.
Abby watched La La Land last night.
I know. She texted me. How did you guys like
Okay,
it?
did she like it? Shh.
She saw a lot of the places she had just been to. Like
I
she,
know, right?
I
That's so
know.
cool.
Isn't it so cool? I love La La Land so much. I have a poster.
I was on that freeway yesterday.
Well, they're at youth
Exactly.
conference. They went to LA for youth conference.
That's
Where
really
did they
cool.
go?
So they were supposed to go to the Griffith Observatory, but they ran out of time. But they
Hello.
So we
were
went to WeHo. We went to West
I don't
Hollywood.
Last time we went there
Yeah.
was 2019.
I've
I
never
know
been to that
Bishop.
hard.
The bishop was
La La
driving.
Land, that's just because you're just not it, man.
The bishop was driving them through West Hollywood, and he had to keep telling them not to look out the windows.
Oh no.
Wait, why?
West
Oh.
Hollywood is very.
What's on
like,
the lights?
it's a very gay area, and they're very like in your face about it.
And it's Pride Month.
What
Is
is that? What does
August
that
Pride
mean?
Month?
Was it like
No.
was it like
June is Pride Month.
June.
strip or was it just
No, they're just like lots of posters.
Colorado Boulevard.
Yeah. Yeah, that's.
No, pride flags are not offensive.
that's what I was thinking.
They do other things.
They got an education.
Or not.
We
That's
did
right.
Boris testimony today in sacrament meeting, and he said he didn't talk about West Hollywood at all, but he said it was experience of contrasts, like being in the temple, and then he just focused on missing out on going to Griffith's Park and how nobody was like super upset and like, oh, this is the worst, I hate you, burn it down. That everybody was just really happy, even though, you know, they dealt with the disappointment.
Because they just
And they also went touring like raunchy places too.
I saw 2 people get robbed.
Abby says that they saw 2 robberies while they were there.
You saw them
That's
so
so
happen.
funny.
I guess, I don't know. That's the first I heard. Somebody stole a scooter and a bag.
Oh. Que educación.
Yep.
Wowzers.
So our kids love Hollywood.
You guys talk bad about Philly. Although we do have that one bike ride.
That one bike ride.
That one bike ride where everybody's naked.
Oh, okay.
All right.
Yeah.
I was driving along downtown, just really close to the museum, and I saw this guy, and it looked like he was like, "Whoo, I'm really, really hot." And so he pulled over his bike, and there was 2 guys holding the bike for him. And then he took off his shirt, and he took off his shorts, and he took off his underwear, and he got back on the bike, and he started running. I'm like, "What is he doing?" And then looking around, all these people are completely naked. I'm like, "What? Oh my gosh! Oh my gosh! Are these people really naked on a bike? That just sounds so painful. What's wrong with you people?" It sounds awful. It sounds so uncomfortable. Just, whoa, need padding. Oh my goodness. Yeah, it's a real thing. I'm like, I thought I was in the Twilight Zone for a minute. I was like,
Not like this.
what's going on? Because it went for many blocks and I was in lots of traffic because of the bike ride. And I was like, oh, how about that? That's something different. I didn't.
Might be a slow drive.
It was, and you just look at the pavement in front of you. Just look straight ahead. Not too far ahead.
I'm tired of this.
Oh, David didn't get to go to youth conference because he got his wisdom teeth out on Friday.
Oh my
How's
God.
he doing?
How you doing, David? How you doing?
What?
Your wisdom teeth.
Meh.
He says, meh.
Alex had no problem for 3 days, and then it hit her after like all the good meds wore off.
Yeah.
He hasn't had any good meds. He just had
Yeah, they've
like
given
ibuprofen.
ibuprofen and Tylenol, but like it's high doses of ibuprofen. And so
I think there was something that had hydroxy in it.
no, they don't really give that out anymore.
Really?
Yeah. Because people get addicted to it.
How
So
did you get addicted?
he never, they like have him take 600 of ibuprofen, 500 of Tylenol every 6 hours.
Work.
No,
Both?
I guess.
Yeah, yeah.
Yep.
Just like, you know, make sure you're eating and like hydrating a lot so that you're not having issues.
Yeah. So he's been eating. I don't know. Like I tell him to drink water, but so, but he seems like he's swollen today.
Praying for you, David. This is so much better than keeping them and then having to deal with it later, because it's much worse later. Miriam still got hers and she's just really dealing. It's like lots and lots of pain.
Feeling of hers where?
In her mouth.
What's pain?
So it hurts in her mouth right now.
Yeah, her wisdom teeth are still in there. She just hasn't been able to figure out how to get them out.
No, and then your insurance isn't as good either when you're older. You know what I mean? Like if you do it on your parents' insurance, that's kind of what you want to do.
Well, in Idaho and Utah both have non-reciprocal health insurance. And so they do not accept other states' insurance.
Yeah, they do not.
And so you're like, what do we do?
Down in Utah, there are thousands of different doctors who will take out wisdom teeth, and they do it so often that it's fairly cheap for them. I had mine done emergency because I couldn't chew anymore.
Ouch.
And
okay.
Just have her go and search around. I just did it in the phone book, and I found somebody who did it for like.
And did you just paid for it yourself? Like it was out of pocket, basically?
Yep. And that when she talks to the dentist, say, here's my situation. I don't have much money, so I can't have, like normally I would have been on my parents' insurance, but this is Idaho, we're from Philly, so
yeah.
Yeah, and explain it to her.
We'll work with you.
I think she did buy a policy, but it ended like it was still going to be $1,200.
Yeah.
So my friend brought her son to Utah to get his wisdom teeth out.
Really?
California.
So Utah's the place. All right. I'll just
she did it because it was so much cheaper than California.
Yeah, no, that's why I did it in Utah.
Okay. I'll talk to her about that. Sounds good. I'll let her know that you guys said that, because that sounds like a good workaround. She's got enough friends who could like drive her back, I think.
Well, that's what I think. Find out if Stu or Ballista know of any dentists in the area around now.
Okay, that's a great idea. Thank you.
Especially since Stu's so much more north, and so it wouldn't even be that far for her.
Yeah, it would be like 3-hour drive.
But the cheap doctors might be down in Provo because of
because it's like a saturation.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, and then doesn't UVU
Yes, UVU does have a dental school,
and a lot of them will stay around. They try to stay around there, and so.
I think mine was done by a UVU doctor.
Nice. Okay, so like, was he studying at UVU?
Good doctor.
Okay, great.
If she goes to somebody named Dr. Caldo, tell her to run the other way. Because that was the dentist who drilled 4 of my teeth for no reason at all.
Ugh.
Yeah.
I've had doctors do that, dentists do that. They're just, yeah, because then you pay me. Ha ha ha.
Exactly. And he didn't charge mom's dental insurance. And so he came after me 6 years later. And I didn't realize that I was 1 year away from it falling off and he couldn't collect anymore. Otherwise, I would have pushed it.
Did you pay it?
And so I paid him.
Oh, stink.
The only thing I can say that is good is that he had put it into collections. So he only got like 40%.
But still. No, that was on him. He should have charged the insurance. So that's crap.
Well, yeah, no. And I was going to have the insurance company go after it. But because I wasn't still on the insurance.
You were?
No, I was not.
Oh,
they right. Me out anymore. I was like, but I was under the insurance when this whole thing went down. And they're like, we don't care.
Gail, you need to send Miriam or whoever the name of that doctor.
Dr. Call.
No, dear.
Evil. No, the one that
you need to send
trading shells and stuff. They sold. Oh, the rocket series.
Just I don't remember what his address was anymore, but Dr. Call, just any doctor call, just leave him alone.
Yeah, just don't touch him. All right, well, thank you guys. It was so good to be with you guys and spend time. I got to spend a little time with David because David was always asking, can I help you with something? And he was like, well, yes, you can. And so we did some stuff together. I think we'd like clean the kitchen or something. And Robbie did the same thing. It was really sweet. But Rachel and I made all these sandwiches, and what do we make? Scones and sandwiches. That's how both of us cut our fingers.
It was good though.
My fingers all better, see?
Yay! Has anybody gotten sick after the reunion?
I did a little bit.
Alex says she did. Did you get a little sick afterwards?
I felt like really woozy.
Really woozy?
Anna got sick, but she gets sick all the time.
Because on Tuesday, I started to get a sore throat and like a lot of congestion.
Oh, not like that.
And then I was really sick on Wednesday, Thursday.
Like a cold?
Friday. And I tested yesterday, it's COVID.
Oh my
goodness.
Wow.
So I don't.
Maybe I did have COVID.
So just like a heads up.
Hannah said she had a fever in the airport all the way home, and she just was curled up in a little ball. She didn't eat. She didn't anything. She was like,
It might have been because I was surprised. Like I wasn't gonna test because I just like, But my sister's family's coming down, so I was like, well, I'll just test.
Yeah.
And it was positive. So
wow, dang.
So anyway, I thought I'd give you guys a heads up so that.
Thank you. I hope you feel better. Do you feel better now, right?
Yeah, like so Wednesday, Thursday were super rough.
You don't work behind me.
But I'm doing a lot better now. Like I'm still not 100. It's been like it was a much worse case because I've had it before, and this has been a much worse case.
Wow. But coming off of like so much intense, like do this. I think next time we do a reunion, we should try to get everyone in the same place, but we're getting bigger and bigger. I don't know if we can.
We can't. Thomas found a place.
It all depends on where we want to go, because people have kept talking about Carlsbad, and so I just kind of did a little, for not really looking hard, but like I found some places in Carlsbad that can hold us all.
Wow.
But it's a matter of how much we're willing to spend, and so if we want to talk about
it's always going to be that.
For like a few years down the line, then people can start putting away money.
That's a great idea.
I also think the Airbnb we had was good space to hang out, but it also allowed us to.
Like Tom found a place that has 3 different living rooms.
Yeah, one of the places I found has multiple living rooms, and so that's people we can have adults gathered one, because one of the living rooms is actually a game room. It's got a pool table. It had a couple different things. A football, and so some people could be gathered there playing.
And so, Rachel, I think that you're the mitigating factor here, because it's when do you guys feel like you'll have enough money to come back out? And so then the rest of us will start saving up for that time, and then we'll look around for places we can go.
Let's plan a couple years from now and see what we can do then.
So we tentatively say 2027.
Well, in 2 years, Gid will be getting ready to go on a mission. So maybe we do it right before that.
Nice kind of time to gather all together again.
Yeah.
Can Alex share with?
Hold on, Alex had something about the Airbnb she wanted to share with you guys.
What?
Where are you?
I thought it was nice that we had different places.
Sorry, say that louder.
I thought it was nice that we had different places. We could do things on our own volition. And
yes, it's a boat.
also,
I don't think they can hear you, Alex.
Individual.
Sorry, we have Ben who's very excitedly trying to show me a picture of a boat.
Of a bug. Alex said she thought it was really nice that we had 2 different places, because there was, if people needed a downtime, they could go to a bedroom and like have a little downtime, and then we could come back to a main place. And there was the outside and the pool place, and it was, people could still go to bed. Like I couldn't do late night and I could go to bed, but all the kids and everybody could be outside in the pool until like midnight whenever they came in.
Well, see, and that's why we're talking about the place that has like multiple living rooms, because we're assuming, again, I haven't seen the house, but the bedrooms are pretty far apart from each other. Yeah. And then so there'd be a place that maybe one group could be doing video games, and then the other people could be outside in the pool, or people could be going to their bedroom or whatever.
Yeah.
And again, it's years away, so it's not like we're putting a down payment on this or anything like that. But we can like start looking, if we have a tentative date, we can start looking for places and then telling people how much we should be thinking.
Yeah.
Maybe we do it earlier in the summer. I don't know. The late summer was tough.
Yeah.
Well, we can do it before summer school, but at least I think Michelle as well are always going to have to do summer school.
Is that right? Well, you guys know your dates, but
well, we usually get off at the end of May, and then we get picked up sometime early June, so like the second week of June.
Yeah, she usually has a week off between.
And so that would be the early summer. Otherwise, it's got to be after, like around my birthday.
Right, the same time as this year.
oh wow, yeah. So around the time we had it, yeah.
Yeah.
That's one of the reasons why we had it this past week, is because it was when summer school was out.
Because I can't, if I sign up for summer school, I can't take off any time. Otherwise, I don't get the time.
The time at all.
And now I'm off until
Wait.
I have a question
and so if
for
you want to do it even
Michelle.
later, that's also something we could do.
Sure.
I have a question for Michelle. She is missing her keys since the reunion.
What keys?
So,
the house? Keys to the car?
keys. Car
It's
keys.
the big set of keys with all the
But
key
didn't
change
Michelle drove her car home?
with the Roxy key.
She has two sets of keys. She has one set of keys that had a whole bunch of heads of characters and stuff.
No, that would have Melissa's stuff. Mine just had keychains.
Okay, hers just has key change. So just
Places that I visited.
look places that she has visited. So if you see anything, let us know. We're searching.
We
All right,
kept putting things up in the bookcase. You might want to look on top of the bookcase that you're sitting next to, Mom.
Mom can't reach up there anymore.
You did.
And she's got a stepladder.
Yes,
That's true. Got a stepladder.
Red Cross. August is giving $20.
I did it. Oh, I didn't do it in August. I did it on.
I'm just hitting them together.
I know, but they didn't give me the things.
Found the Buddha.
Red Cross.
Yeah, she can't go.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
No,
Be on the
She can
edge.
go, but she can't.
$20.
Do you want that for your birthday?
Yeah, you have to be like
Because
20.
they're $300.
Anyway. Well, we love you guys. It's so great to see you. Hey, Thomas. Little T. Nothing.
They're trying
Hey,
to.
Rachel, they're talking to you.
Hi, Thomas. It's good to say hi.
Talk about buying corn boxes.
No, me and Mommy have to talk about
Mommy
it.
and Daddy have to talk about Crunch Lab boxes. You are not talking to them about Crunch Lab boxes.
Crunch Lab.
It's Mark Rober.
Oh, yeah. No, I know exactly what those are. He's a little young for Crunch Lab. They're cool, right? Isn't Mark Rober the coolest?
Well, the problem is that they're for 8-year-olds, and he really wants it. And I'm like, I don't know that they're.
Yeah.
Mark Rober will not stop by our house and bring him.
Sorry, dude. But you can see Mark Rober in Studio C. That's a really great sketch. I love that sketch. Anyway, my kids are like fighting with.
The pizza is we.
What is that? It says some dinosaurs use pizza. Is that in the dinosaurs like tacos?
No, so it's the same author, and it's kind of the same book. So this is Dinosaurs like pizza, and then you have Dragons Love Tacos.
Oh, that's right. Dragons love tacos, but not with hot sauce.
Not with hot sauce.
What
No,
happens
not
to Dragons
hot
hot sauce tea?
That's what it says in the book. If you give them hot sauce, they burn down the
Love you
world.
all.
Stuart, is Cyrus and Aurelia there?
You smoke.
Bye, Edward.
No, we're on our way over to
Smoke.
her parents' house. So no, they're not.